Hello guys, Dummy here. Today what I have for you is a fully automatic brewing station, and what I mean by fully automatic is it actually runs by itself, so it will start off a new round of brewing without you having to do anything, and as soon as I flick this lever it will start the circuit, and then it will just keep on brewing until you flick the lever again, and then it will finish the potion it's brewing and then stop. So if I just leave this going, it will just keep on going forever until all your items run out, and then it will of course stop working. So now I've flicked the lever, the process has started, and as you can hear things are already going, and basically it works at nearly maximum efficiency. So as soon as the next process can start going, it will actually start, and that's because it actually works without using any timers at all, but actually uses my tile NC update detector, which you can see here, where you can roughly see here. So where the cauldron is in the comparator. If you watch my last video you might understand a little bit more about that. But basically what's happening is every time a new item goes in here, that will actually cause an update, but a tile NC update and not a actual block update, so it's a little bit different. But that actually means this will work at maximum efficiency. So as soon as this finishes brewing, it will actually move on to the, it will actually remove all the items. So after the gunpowder goes in, which is after this, you'll see that they actually are removed immediately, and then the new ones come in almost immediately as well, which is very unique for a brewing station. So as I said, this is the final thing to make it a splash potion of instant health, and you're about to see it. They will be dragged out almost immediately. See, they're taken out, and then the new ones come back in almost immediately as well. And if I look up here, all the products are back in order again. And of course the items just filter down into this chest as the machine works, because they just filter down into through here. So yeah, I just wanted to show you this machine because it actually works very differently to anything I've ever seen before in terms of brewing. Because I've seen a couple that use massive timing circuits to do it that just have to wait like huge amounts of time before it actually moves on to the next phase. Whereas this actually does it in a very unique way, and actually works off changes of things inside the actual brewing stand itself. And that's why it works at pretty much maximum efficiency, even though it is reasonably large, at 6x6x7 in total. But still, that's not actually too large for a fully automatic brewing stand. Obviously you will need to keep the water bottles filled up, otherwise it won't. It will run out fairly quickly, because water bottles obviously do not stack, and that's why it is very important that you do keep them stacked. And although I haven't actually added a mechanism, you could quite easily make add a comparator coming out the chest and then have it so it's connected to the lever which stops the whole system. So you could have quite easily implement anti-braking systems, because it all works on a reasonably simple basis of stopping and starting. So another cool thing about this little machine is that it's obviously got infinite space to store your water, because that can just come up from here and be expanded as much as you like. It's got expandable space for your ingredients, so you could just put hoppers coming out the top with chests. Then obviously you can make infinite amounts of storage down below for your the things that it makes, which I'm actually going to need because it's almost filled up already. So I'm going to show you a quick little tour around the thing, because there won't actually be a tutorial because it's actually a very big build, and I will do a tutorial if you guys ask for one, but for now I'm just going to leave it as a little showcase, and there'll be a download in the description which you guys can get if you want to have a little play around with it yourselves. So effectively the way this is actually set up to work is that every time there's an update within the brewing stand, it actually sets off a little sends off the tile NC update detector. So as you'll see, when this next item finishes brewing, it will cause an update like that from this little circuit here. You might be able to see it. It's basically the cauldron pushing up, then the comparator going down into the redstone, the torch, and then back into the piston. That is the circuit. And basically each time that updates, that sends out a 1-tick pulse, and that actually lets the one item go through the hoppers. So if I can find it, that'll be over here now. Where is it? There we go. So every time there's an update, this water bottle will move one along, so we'll see that in a moment. Or depending on how quickly the updates happen, sometimes it's 2, so when there's 3 items coming in a row, like the water bottles coming in or out, then it will only move along 2. but I've accommodated for that obviously. So as you can see now it's moved one further along, and this is basically it going through each of the processes. So at different points I can take different outputs for it to do various things. So at this point it basically sets it to take out the water bottles, and then that will cause an update, and then it will end up over at this little one over here. So when it gets to where this redstone is that I'm pointing at now when my cursor's on, then that will actually send a little pulse out, and that will cause this this hopper to actually open up and put new water bottles in. And as soon as those new water bottles go in, that will do a couple more updates, so the item will move around from here to here, and then this actually sets off a pulse, as you can see coming up here, which sends off all of these droppers just to put items in, which will go into making the next brewing round. And then obviously as the items go in, that will slowly move along as each of the items are brewed. So there'll be one hit now, and then this will move along until it gets to the point where over here, because there's 4 different items that need to be brewed, so it will move along all the way around to here, and then it will do its thing and start the process all over again after it's taken the water bottles out. So it works on a loop where you can take various outputs at various different stages of the process, which I think is a really neat little idea. And obviously, if I just come down and flick this lever now, if you wanted to have time to get more ingredients, you could just flick the lever off, and now you'll see it will finish brewing what it's doing at the moment. So it's over in this one at the moment, and then because I've now flicked the lever, it will just get round to over here, so it will empty the bottles out, but it won't start the new process because this is basically just an empty hopper which will go through by itself, but when you flick it off it basically just locks that one and means that the process can't start again. And now you can see the item is now stopped in here, and it won't move through because we've locked it, and so the process won't start again until you do it again. And so the items have come through obviously, and then this will just be stopped until you require it to be started again. And of course as soon as you flick this lever, the process will just be started off again, as you can see now. So through some testing I found that this thing takes approximately 1 minute and 24 seconds to actually complete one full cycle, which is actually pretty damn quick for a 4-item brewing, and that is one of the limitations of this. So one of the problems I do have with this is that it only takes 4 items. So if you try and use 3 items, the system won't work. If you try and use 5, the system won't work, etc, etc. So if you're going to use a potion that uses 3, try and make it a splash potion, or try to upgrade it somewhat, because otherwise the actual system won't work, and it's just not worth trying to fix. In this, it will make it quite different, and you'll have to like change all of this little circuit down here, which would be a real pain. So try and keep it to 4 if possible. But yeah, although there might be some machines that do the same thing in a smaller volume, they generally work on timing circuits, which means that they're actually going to be slightly less efficient probably, whereas this actually does the next task immediately as it finishes the last one, or after maybe a tick or so. So that's why I think this machine's really good, and obviously it's got other benefits as well that I've probably mentioned earlier. But as I said, there will not be a tutorial unless you guys ask for one, because there won't be one in this video, as of course it's quite a big build and I've probably dragged on enough as it is already. So yeah, let me know if you want a tutorial. But that is all for this video guys, and I'll see you next time.